Hey guys, how's it going? December 6th, 2020. And I think it's December 6th. I have a hard time seeing that. I have a hard time seeing that. You're not receiving enough video to maintain team sweeting. Oh, that's too bad. Um, I'm not receiving enough video. Okay, well, hopefully my stream's good. If not, you'll just have to wait for the uploads. And yes, there will be more uploads. Lots of them. Um, so, oh, where do I begin? Jesus, this weekend was absolutely amazing. I mean, it started out a little weird, which is probably part of the mood I was in. I'm not sure. Um, Last week was a miserable week as it was. I could not fly. And when you can't fly and your your hobbies have shifted to something else and then suddenly you're grounded, it really makes you reflect on what you're doing and are you wasting your time on certain things. And I think, without psychoanalyzing myself too much, I think it was getting to me. And I was already looking at the views. I'm not even going to look at the views right now. I'm not worried about that. Um, I had to think about what it is I was doing. You know, I realized number one that looking at videos, and I was explaining this over on Train Sim as well. I look at the present and the future. I don't really go back to the past. The only times I go back to the past are on very special occasions, and I'm not even talking birthdays and weddings I mean, it's just weird. I mean, you know, I don't even really look back at that many younger pictures of my son. And it's not because I don't love him, I do. But I know what he looks like. I concentrate on the here and now. He's not a baby anymore. I know that. Maybe one day I will. Guess what? I got all that of it. I don't know. I don't take much pictures and videos of him. I have pictures. I have pictures of the wall and all this other stuff. You know, that's fine. But I'm gonna give you a look at the drone image file for a second. Now I had to offload some of this because, or no, I didn't. What am I talking about? I had to offload the card because I ran out of memory at one point this weekend. But this was insane. December 6th, we're on today. Now there was at least three other images that have not been added from this evening. There's three pictures in here. Those are still pictures. Those are no big deal. But when you look at the total number of flights from right there, take away the three images. That's how many flights I have done this weekend. So for the first flight was at 9:50. I started recording at 9:53 on uh, December 4th, Friday night. That was the Aldershot video. It didn't turn out too well. Hamilton was much better. I was hoping Aldershot was going to be good. It wasn't as good as I thought it was. Hamilton turned out a lot better. And, then from there, things just were getting, better and better. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to take you through some of these things real quick here. And this was at Aldershot. Now I'm gonna upload. I don't know if I'll upload this one. I am all over the place because I cannot find the. I just went up. I was getting horrible light, which surprised the hell out of me. I got the moon up here. This is when Auto Train was going through, so I'm flying this thing around because number one, I'm not ready for it. It came a lot quicker than I expected. Um, but I tried. I got some of the signals into these shots. You know, the highways. You can see the cars are below me, but I just cannot get good light on him. And had I been on the other side, I would have been much better. Now, I believe I've already done an audio track for this. I may put it up. It is, you know, it's bound to make people seasick. Um, See, I'm just moving all over the place. Not very smooth. Guys were sitting here. I think I tried doing the auto track 2 or 3 times. So it was a lot of work on video, and you know, it was crazy. But anyways, then I went on to Hamilton. Now, this was on again Friday night. No trains in this one, but this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this one. This is the GO station in Hamilton. Just taking you through different things. That's the yard there. So I got through to the yard, checking out the, you know, doing a lot of flyovers, a lot of fun. This was a real lit up, nice area along the harbor in Hamilton. There's downtown Hamilton, real cool stuff. Then I got this CP train coming into Welland Yard on Saturday morning. Really cool. I was limited as far as how far I could go because there's certain zones. The approaches to the airports are in this area, so it limited me so far. Plus, I was coming into this was the first CP northbound. I kind of had him, but here I lost signal, so I don't know if I ever caught the engine. I probably did. Maybe I didn't. The yard was a lot more empty than the last time I remember it. Switcher units down here, so he's pulling in and stopping and what have you. But there's not much else to this other than, yeah, now he's pulling ahead again. You know, fair enough. It was a fun video. Oh, that was the second part of the video. Okay, so some of these were two-parters. Yeah, this went a little longer than I expected, so I'm not too worried about that. This was really cool. I enjoyed this. This I've been wanting to do. This location's feeder. You can see the swamp off to the left. I had to travel about at least half a kilometer, close to 700 meters, to pick up this blue switcher. Now, you've probably seen this blue switcher if you look back into one of my YouTube videos of Dane City. This is one of the Port Colborne Harbor switchers. Now, he's just dropping off those cars there, so not too much there to see. I'm getting in position. Eventually, he's going to take off any minute. Probably, yeah, right around there. He's already taken off. There he goes. And that was not too much on that one. Second one gets better. Once again, now I'm further down this time. The road, I tried a different location to try to go through to get him. Oh, actually, no, this is me coming back. Okay, well, maybe I didn't have as many flights as I thought I did, but okay, that's me coming back to the car. Never mind. Let's try this. Here we go again. All right. So this time we're approaching the yard from a different perspective. Instead of coming in this way and getting into signal issues, I wanted to come across the yard this way. And I knew what was coming. So this is why I was doing it. So this is the interchange between CN, CP, Port Colborne Harbor, and here is CN coming in with a small drop-off. Long hood forward. He comes around at the other end. I think he goes down the main and then forget what he does. Yeah, he goes down the main and then he hooks up. Oh yeah, he's attaching the EOT to the back of that, but I didn't take any more video of that. Just another video of me from. I tried to get to the power station this time a little bit better. Um, I've been trying to do that a few times. I think I've had a few videos of that, but that there is the Grimsby sub in the background over 12 Mile Creek. But anyways, just a video from home that I wanted to try. This is fun. This was today. Yeah, this is one of my favorite videos. Actually, yes, and I met a fellow rail fan out here when I was taking this video, and actually his enthusiasm for what I was doing was a major reason that put me in a really good mood. I was already in a pretty good mood Saturday because I was getting a lot of these. I was getting a lot of good shots. I found this I found was the start of a great Sunday, and Beamsville and Grimsby off to the edge here, going across all the Vinelands. And this is train 422. Yeah, I'm just tracking them, having some fun with them. I'm sitting up over this way with Emmett, and I track him for about 1.5 kilometers, which for me, I mean, this is what I love having a drone for. Is just shots like these and going over the countryside. You don't get this from a still location. And I was even started by by a substation, which probably wasn't going to give me the best, uh, you know, the best kind of reception or whatever. That's me standing out there. Be me car. So I try a few different techniques. Yeah, see, then son was trying to wonder what I was doing there, and then just try some different shots, going backwards, and eventually forwards, and then I decided to do the side thing, trace them that way. Had a lot of fun doing this. It was a blast. This was where my SD card came full, and this is 421. 422 was the other one. This is 421 coming in. Now I still have to upload the 720 version. This is him coming around the Y at Clifton. I've been wanting to get him, and sure enough, I got the error message or the warning the SD card was almost full over here, and it didn't take long. By the time this video ends, I mean he was pretty much done for, which really sucked. Um, but at least I can get some really good high definition screen captures here, and I'll post the 720. I'll get the 720 up eventually, but this is going to just end like this. Go to the next video. This is a northbound CP manifest train coming off the Stanford sub this afternoon. Not too big of a train. I was hoping to get the signal. I've seen uh, the site out west that Tony V site out in Western Canada, where he's always getting these shots with the signals. I haven't been able to get them yet. And the thing about those is with Tony, it's like he manages. Well, he number one, he's getting a lot of traffic because he's on the Transcon, but he's also getting it at the time of night or whatever where the signals are really showing up above. In this case, downwards, so you don't really see the signal at all, unfortunately. I didn't know that Might have been a rail fan there, but anyways. I had some fun with some shots on this one too. Like I've just been trying different techniques, and then yeah, then I go back this way and blah blah blah. And yeah. Now this was strange. I lost signal here a few times. This siding, they have been known to store auto racks in it. Uh, this is a CP siding not too far up actually, from where that last train was. That it was over here coming this way. I think now it used to be. Oh, what the hell was it called? I was gonna say no, it's not Robbins. What is it called? Brookfield. But I think they changed it. I think it's called Rusholme now. I didn't even realize I went by because I lost my camera, and this was not one of the better shots, but I kept on losing signal for some reason, and then but yeah, got some various nice little flybys of the intermodal just sitting there. He went dead on the law a couple hours before that. I came back out, went to get him, and this was an extra train. I think it was 836. I think it was 836 or some weird train number. I was like, what the hell's this? And there's not much to see here because it's just. And I was low on battery, which is why I wasn't flying too high. Oh, it's just the hopper train. They have these over, you might have seen in some of my other videos. These hoppers, they got a whole whack of them that's sitting up at Fort Erie. Now, I don't know where I'm going here, but I guess I'm trying to get into a position where I'm on the other side of the sunlight, but I don't know. Didn't turn out the way I thought it was, but oh, and I'll have two more for tonight, but there's a lot there, so you know, good stuff. I think definitely something I would put up. I haven't even looked at the two videos from tonight, but now you're just looking at screenshots on my desktop, but um, so yeah, getting back to the whole thing as far as the change of heart, let's say. I was just over on the train sim forums, and honestly, I just seem to I don't know what it is. I just seem to trigger certain people, and it becomes entertaining. It really does. It's almost like a hobby in its own self. Um, Whether you call it shit disturbing, just triggering people, I don't know what it is, and I don't mean to be mean to people, and I don't mean to get into these discussions and be negative or anything like that, because I want to see things succeed. But let me just go back to what my channel has been and the identity crisis that I have had for some time. So I've been on YouTube, I think, for 10 years now. I have still shy of 500 subscribers. I haven't quite got there yet. I'll get some, then I'll lose a couple, blah, blah, blah. My base of RTS is my Run 8 base. If Run 8 ever was to come out with a version 3, and this is kind of funny because every time somebody brings it up, oh, when version 3 comes out, oh, when version 3 comes out, it's just like, I'm like, you're just inviting me to have fun with you. Somebody tonight posted a new message, and it was like, It's the 1 year anniversary of the last DLC content. So these guys are apparently working on version 3, and we don't know when it's ever going to come out. It'll be out when it's ready. Run 8 is not dead. We've been told that by the who is basically that his job, from what I understand. He doesn't have another side job. At least last I heard, he didn't. He gave up his other jobs because he wanted to focus on that entirely, from what I understood. I could be wrong, but so I'm to believe, and I know they've had health issues. I know there's other things that have gone on. So I'm basically to believe, because of that, that somehow, if this is, the career, or if times are tough because of the economy, with COVID and all the other stuff, I would think that now is the best opportunity to go after the market of trying to get version 3 hype going and get people excited or something to look forward to. Instead, what you see is, you see people having fun, whatever, with whatever they've had, have had for years that works perfectly fine for the most part. Um, and like I said in videos, well, I stopped doing that about a year ago. I was just like, okay, I've had enough of this. Time to move on, and I did. Now you might say, "Oh yeah, but you're always talking about it, Sean. You're always talking about Run 8." Okay, the reason why I talk about Run 8 is because it's my base. So I feel like I have an obligation to try to explain to my base, or to try to justify to that base subscribers. I'm going to try to justify it, and I'm going to try to explain. If Run It was to come out with something that was my expectations, I would. But a lot has changed. I'm into trains now. I haven't touched trains in probably over a month. I have no issues with trains. Trains is trains. It's a good simulator and everything. But something happened about a month ago that really changed everything. So, like I said, 10 years ago, I started. This was before Run 8. I was doing stuff with Microsoft Train Simulator. I had a concept of RTS, Railroad Transportation Simulator. That became the identity. This became the channel was focused on RTS because I was wanting to develop something on my own, a system from scratch that was going to be a railroad transportation simulator. When I wrote the software for RTS, the car forwarding system, because car forwarding was a major thing with Run 8, that I was able to utilize. So that became the engine for what ultimately became the first piece of software, really the first and only major piece of software that I've ever put out there. I've put out some very minor stuff, and I wouldn't say this is major software. This is, honestly, it's a beta software, and it's not really that great, but it did what it was supposed to do. Um, it became obsolete, or semi-obsolete, once new different cars came out, and it certainly became obsolete when version 2 came out. But it did what it was supposed to do at the time. People were wanting updates for version 2 and this. They were asking me about it. I wasn't really into it because I didn't really feel it needed it, and I wasn't into the project. And I felt version 2 had their own system in there, and I didn't, there was a lot of reasons. I was going to do it, then I didn't. It's just, I really wasn't into programming, and I really didn't feel the need or the desire to want to do it. So, and I also didn't feel that there was the demand, quite frankly. Some people were interested in it, but there really wasn't the demand, and I didn't really want to do it, and I didn't feel obligated to do it, so I never did. Um, End of story. I didn't bother. So the past year, I started focusing away from RTS, and you see all these pictures that are flashing from your screen. This is all within the last month. About a month. I think it's been a month. A month. Yeah. I think the first flight was around November 11th. Remembrance Day here in Canada. I think it was around that time was the first flight, if I recall. So it hasn't even has it been a month? It's just shy of a month, and I'm able to have this has changed really. It changed everything. When I was getting the drone, now mind you, I was already learning about the drone as I was waiting for it. So really, it's been 2 months that I've been away probably from trains, because what happened in October that was when I really got to understand that, hey, this is going to be something that you can use. I've never been one that rail fans to like I'm not the type of I'm not the typical rail fan. I don't bring my camera out and take pictures and stuff like that. I usually watch the engines and the cars. I'm more interested in the operation and just feeling the moment of it. Wave to the engineer, whatever. Now I'm antisocial to the engineers, quite frankly, because I'm too busy looking. I felt sorry for Jason. He came up to me today, fellow rail fan. Was curious what I was doing. I was so concentrating on getting us okay with the flight, and I was getting the last few cars. I was actually 700 meters away from, so I was still actually getting in the last images before I was slowly turning and facing back to stop the image, and then I was able to talk to him. But until that point, I just kind of gave him short answers, and I was still looking at, I'm just looking down. I'm not, because I was just too busy, and I would have really felt bad if he had gone away, because it turns out he's a Rail fan, and he's apparently going to be a new subscriber to what I've got. And I told him, I says, yeah, give me a few days, I'll have it up. And quite frankly, this is why I still do this. This is why I want to still do this. Um, I don't want to spend too much effort into doing it, but this has changed the game for me. It's just like how trains change the game. Again, something got me hooked a different way, and all of a sudden I see this. Walter was saying to me, as far as going up different heights, well, it's just like looking at Google Earth. Um, these images, you could say, are like Google Earth, quite frankly, although you get a 2D top-down image. And I don't necessarily fly for the still images. The still images remind me of what things look like. The videos I never really watch too much after um, getting it produced and put online, just to get the audio and everything on. This image always. This was from last Sunday. and I personally like that image. Of all the, it was pretty dark down there, but I actually found some better light today. But yeah, so but being able to the reason why I do the video imagery now, and I was doing a little bit of video imagery this year. I was doing it more for research purposes, and it was actually while I was still heavily into trains and trying to really research the traffic pattern in Niagara. And I already had a pretty good understanding of the trains and the operations, but I was really trying to nail down the various car types, the loads, the industries, the commodities, you name it. I wanted to get the whole car system down. This was still part of the RTS system, although this was now shifted to trains, and it was going to become more of a system as opposed to any program per se. But like I said, things changed. While I was doing the imagery, while I was trying to get the basis, and I was in the development of this route, it will continue. My son is heavily into trains right now. He is a trains junkie, which is cool. I think it's great. He's doing something in Minnesota right now, of all places. So I'm like, cool. And he was saying something you might need a transdem or something like that. I said, yeah, if you need a transdem, let me know and I'll get it for you. Um, so was I just sorry, I'm not losing my train of thought. It's 12:05 a.m. now. I'll try to wrap this up. It's just been I don't want to go to bed. I don't want this weekend to end. It's been so awesome. And Monday's going to be busy because I'm going to be busy. None of these videos are ready. I got one video. It's just like, um, I'll see what I can get done in the morning. It probably won't be much. It's probably going to be at least another 48 hours before I really start getting the videos up this weekend. But anyways, bear with me. It's coming this week. Um, so I was doing the imagery, and I started doing images and zooms of various areas. One thing that having a drone or having the ability to get imagery, like I was going to actually literally start trespassing and walking the lines. I was thinking of doing that. I've done it before. And I was thinking of doing it just so that I can get a really good idea of what it looks like. Because Google, here's the thing with Google. Google, you can look at top down and say, okay, well this is what this looks like, but sometimes top down hides a lot of stuff, and you really need to get yourself in there to find out what it looks like. When you see something top down, it doesn't necessarily give you the whole picture, and it doesn't. Like this is not a top down. You wouldn't get this from a Google image. You can rotate something all you want. It isn't, it's going to give you what it is. So what I did was I wanted to look into a few things. I was looking into, first of all, I wanted the proper elevation for trains. I wanted all kinds of different things, and I was trying to find different things that I could. But then somehow, while I was looking at imagery, somehow I came across. I think I came across the site first. This awesome, awesome video. Honestly, when you see one train video, you've seen them all. Okay? And some of them are cool, some of them, are whatever. I personally, this is why I never really took that many videos for the sake of taking videos, because personally I'm not into watching videos of trains. Often, you know, once you get used to somebody's channel, they're often in the same location. The trains are very similar, and I mean Niagara, they get really similar. It doesn't take much, and you can only, there's only certain locations that are really good for taking pictures and all this other stuff and a lot of the yada. I wasn't sure what it was, but I just I would follow these people, but I couldn't get into it because you only had so much scenery. When I'm rail fanning, okay, for example, I don't necessarily like staying in one spot. I like going around. I like getting the change of the scenery. Sure, I like to get different operations and stuff like that, but I always want to take in what the whole feeling of it is like. The whole, scenery around you, the trees, the colors, um, the sky conditions sometimes, night, day, what else is going on. Take it all in and just really appreciate what it is to be alive. And it makes my weekends totally awesome just to be able to do that. When I go on vacations, my son and I, we travel. We find new places. We look for new rail corridors. We do it all the time. And we're foaming now because we're still finding places in Niagara. There are places in Niagara we've never been to. I have never taken imagery other than the grade crossing images that I was taking. And this is where I started finding some of these locations between Grimsby, places I would never have gone normally as a rail fan, just to go out at a certain spot. I mean, it's a straight piece of track. What else are you going to get with a standard camera or a you go to a different crossing? Okay, well, you're sitting at a cross and you're looking at something and you're watching a train go by and it might go by faster at this place and slower at this place, but you're not really getting that much perspective as a rail fan. Then suddenly I saw the video and I was just like, well, curious, what kind of drone do you have? Because he's got this beautiful image that's different than other videos I've seen. Now I've seen drone videos, and I kind of saw them earlier this year, and a couple of years ago I wanted to get into drones, but it was too costly, and it was there was a lot of different things, and I didn't want to spend over $1,000. So I heard that some of the costs had come down and blah blah blah. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me put a limit of $1,000 and see what I can do. And it's kind of funny because Jason was saying the same thing. He says, "Well, is it under $1,000?" I says, "Yeah." I says, "In fact, that was my limit. I didn't want to spend more than $1,000." And so yeah, I asked him. I asked Tony. I was like, what would you recommend? I don't know if that's the one he uses. Whether he uses it or not doesn't matter. I can get very similar images anyways. And he mentioned Mavic Mini. I was like, okay. And same question came around to Walter because Walter started using drone images, and I asked what he was using. He was like Mavic Mini. Everybody was talking about the Mavic Mini. I was just like, now, mind you, the Mavic Mini 2 has been out for a while, and it has a few more little tricks, but it's basically a Mavic Mini. It just does 4K, which you really can't use much most places, anyways, and it is what it is. So I had I had the mat. It was like, I was like, I knew I was getting a Mavic Mini. I looked into it. It was well within the 1,000. It was going to take me a while to get it from China because that's where it came from, and I was expecting it on this day. Yeah, it didn't come in. I think I was gunning for Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, if I'm not mistaken, and it wound up. Well, I don't know what the hell it was. Piece of hell on me. I don't know if it was Canadian Thanksgiving or somewhere around there, but it took a little longer or something. But anyways, I was. It was just I remember taking my first flights for it, and it was like, okay, this is incredible. And I'm just looking at all these images and all these. It's not so much these images don't they bring back memories, but they also remind me of how much fun that I was in the moment. And then to get home and to watch the video on these and see what it was like. And I like sharing that because somebody shared with me, somebody who has less subscribers than me, who spends a lot of time on videos making it with three cameras, really got me hooked. And I'm like, I want to be able to do this. And I've seen drone videos before with railfans, and they look cool, but this one just captured me because it was more than just flying over a train. And don't get me wrong, there was certain railfan, and I hadn't really gotten too much more into it, but this was different. This was beautiful. This was like kind of like what you're seeing here. Although this is not the most scenic. You got Niagara Falls in the background, a curved train, blah blah blah. Um, it is what it is. I wouldn't call this amazingly scenic. Um, of course, I have some really what I would call scenic images of Jordan Harbor. Even for not rails, I kind of I was supposed to be today at Emmett. I said, next time we go down to towards Jordan Harbor there, we should go fly across the harbor. We should just take a flight around the harbor or whatever because it's really cool looking. Hey, that was cool. And those are those hoppers, by the way, that came in on that one video. See them over there? That's the same CN hoppers on the left hand side. This is Fort Erie. I believe I don't know if this was. I was gonna say I think this was from last. Yeah, I think this was from last. Maybe not. This seems like it was from 2 weeks ago, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it was just to get up and to be able to get to an elevation where you were able to take so much more of the scene. When you're taking a look at a rail photo, you're lucky to get the train. It becomes so much of the scene, and it becomes the dominant picture. Whereas getting into a drone, suddenly you're number one. You're at a different level. You're bringing in a lot of the background scenery that you're not otherwise seeing. Like, say for example, from ground there perspective, I can tell you right now, you might get the ships. Now, obviously, the bridge would be down and the train would be crossing. If you were, you might get the ship. You probably won't get the back end of the next lock. And depending upon your perspective, I don't know what it is that you may or may not get. Now, this is not the best example. This is actually fairly low. This was more to establish where I was. It wasn't really a high end looking out across. There's a good perspective right now. So you're getting a train. You're not getting all the details of the train. The train, yeah, the train's part of it, and you can pick out enough of the details. But now you're seeing that train in in all of its surroundings. and you're seeing the trees and the types of trees, and you're seeing so much more. Google Earth doesn't give you that. You look on Google Earth, you can't, a lot of times you can't tell what kind of tree it is looking down at it. Here you can look at, you can see the types of trees, you can see the type of grass, you can see the slope of the hill, you can see, uh, it's just, and then you can see the escarpment in the background towards Grimsby. You can see the built up area in the city, open areas, stuff like that. When you're looking over something like this at night, well, you can now point in 3D. You can see, well, this is what this looks like at night. You can get a justification. Okay, well, that's a circular. That's, I mean, this is probably a bad one, but it's more than just a top down image, because you're getting the perspective of 3 dimensions. So you're seeing a lot more. This is a bad example, this one. But you won't get this in a Google image. Yeah, to get it at night and what it looks like at night, good luck. Most Google images are daytime. They try to get the best image. This kind of gives you, well, what does it look like at night? Ah, okay. Now you know where the lighting is. And you know what type of lighting it is, too. But, yeah. But anyways, houses, like as far as the roofs and, are, I mean, roofs are mainly the same and all that. Again, probably bad example. But, so why am I interested in filming all of a sudden, whereas I wasn't interested in filming before? It's not so much recording the video as it is recording the video so I can capture the moment later in finer detail. Because what I'm seeing through my eyes, I'm more or less piloting and seeing a pilot video. I'm seeing a 720 image on a very small cell phone screen. Responsible for the quad to make sure everything is running good, and to make sure it safely returns and that it doesn't injure anybody, and to make sure it doesn't run into anything, destroy itself, whatever. So I'm busy. I'm busy as a rail fan, enjoying what I'm seeing, and thinking, oh, this is going to be good. Usually, a lot of times, I find that the images are better than I anticipated them to be. And that's the beauty about watching the video later. The beauty about sharing the videos, and like I said, uh, not seeing that many views on them, it's tough, because you're used to having views, and suddenly you got something that you think is awesome, but, well, wait a minute, not everybody's going to think like you do. So what do? Do you share it because you want to share it and get some people interested, or do you just want to share it and treat the ones who have stuck by you with, say, hey, I'm not giving up, and here you go, and spend a little bit of extra time to get the video and talk about a certain area and educate, and just do it. And I think I'm choosing the latter now, at least for now. And if I don't want to do it, then just don't do it. If I don't want to put up videos up, then don't do it. Maybe less is better. So, and if I want to do other things and they become priorities, has it ever stopped me before? It's not like I'm continuing to doing trains as priority one, because guess what? I'm not, because I found something else. And the winter's coming. I'm gonna be grounded more and more. I'm gonna have opportunities in the winter, but I got to watch out for temperatures. I've got to watch out for precipitation, blowing snow, you name it. There's going to be all kinds of ways that I'm going to be grounded this winter, not to mention freezing my ass off. I'm not one necessarily that's going to enjoy the cold. It's only right around the freezing mark, and well, with wind chill, it's a little less, and my fingers start freezing up pretty quickly. I'm not fond of that. I like this picture. You still got some of the fall colors in there. You're not seeing that in a lot of different places. I do enjoy some of the night photography too. Not always just picking something up and saying, "Hey, here we go." So, anyways, I'm just gonna keep on rounding some flights in and sharing them, sharing my experiences, and I think it's better that way. As far as the other little things that I do, like going on to certain forums and drilling in the same thing I've been saying all along, just repackaging it in a different way. Uh, I'll continue to do that because until I see something, I ain't gonna worry about it. Now, as far as the identification of the forum goes, RTS is probably no longer RTS anymore, but that's part of the name of my YouTube channel. I think it goes Sean Merle RTS or something like that. But anyways, you guys search Sean Merle and you'll find me. But the RTS side, I've got to change the acronym to something else. I just don't know what. Um, I was thinking of R for reality or uh, realistic transport scenes. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's just real simulation. I see. I don't want to get into it. It's just simulations. I'm finding. Put it this way: as much as I love simulations, I'm finding the real world is much more appealing than that. I love flight simulators. Don't get me wrong. I love them. Nothing beats flying a drone, even if I'm only limited to 122 meters. There's nothing like flying a drone, other than probably flying a plane. And I can't afford a plane. And I'd love to do other things. I'm looking forward. Wow, it's 12:27. Jesus. Um, I'm looking forward to being able to get out and you know, I mean, I'm going to be booking vacation. I think I get three weeks this year. Um, Man, there are some scenic locations. I just can't wait to get the drone flying. And it's going to be right here in Canada. There's one of my more scenic images. You can't beat that. Yeah, I mean, that's just cool. And quite frankly, I have not seen an image anywhere of something like that. I've seen pictures of Jordan Harbor. I've seen pictures of the bridge. I don't recall seeing drone images. But this is something you're not going to get as a rail fan. Yeah, you will not get that perspective anywhere else unless you have a drone. That's the kind of thing. This is exactly when I did this last Saturday, and what disappointed me was I could never get more than 20 views for that video for Jordan Harbor, and I thought, why can't I get more than 20 views? And yet, Town Line Tunnel was getting a lot of views for the first initial interest, and um, the city of Welland, because it was posted on Facebook, suddenly I'm up to 100 views, but that was a Facebook site pretty much on the city of Welland. I was like, man, I can't get more than 20 views. Why the hell am I doing this YouTube thing? So that part's frustrating, but you know something? I still want to share what I have. I want to share what I have. There's, you know, if I got the 20 views, I gotta look at it this way. Well, that's 20 people there are 20 people that checked out my video. And, you know, if I get 3 likes, well, guess what? 3 people liked it. So be it. You know, it is what it is. So, but anyways, I'm just been blabbing on as usual. Uh, I'm gonna stop blabbing and get to bed, number one, but number two, as far as tomorrow, the work begins. Um, After I get home, settle in there. I'm gonna start putting some audio of the dubbings of the various scenes from this weekend. It's probably going to take me, because I'm gonna have to go through the videos again, put the audio dub in there. It's probably, there's a lot of videos from this weekend. It's probably going to take me more than 48 hours. I'm thinking it's going to be more like 72 until I get through everything. It's just, there's just that much to go through. And I'm going to enjoy doing them because I enjoy talking about them. I enjoy, even it's kind of therapeutic in a way because I enjoy talking about what I'm seeing and just putting that out there because that those videos that go onto YouTube, they're going to be in the cloud there forever when somebody comes around. And if all of a sudden things get momentum, my son seems optimistic about it. At first, he was kind of with me, but he's always been one who's wanted to push the channel and see how it does or anything. And it's you know, I don't get any. Bottom line is I get no money. I get no money for this. This isn't a financial thing. This is more, am I wasting my time? Could I be doing something else? And that's not to say I'm not going to fly drones because I'll continue to do that. That ain't going away. But could I fly drones and do other things and not worry so much about putting stuff on YouTube? So certainly food for thought, but yeah, anyways, yeah. Oh, here comes a good yawn. So that's a cool image too with the sky and all that other stuff. But anyways, and I gotta go through and get some more screenshots. I'm gonna be doing that all this week, and I got more windows of opportunity this week. Oh my god, it's 12:31. I need to go to bed. This week is looking good. Well, it did. That's good. The winds are good that way. I might I got at least 2 batteries, so I can fly tomorrow. Uh, I used one of them tonight and had 3 trains in them. I couldn't get the third train fully without depleting the battery to almost 0%. Oh man. Wow. This week looks freaking amazing. Well, Wednesday's going to be a good night to work. That's good. Um, yeah. The Jesus. What's the 14th day look like? Holy crap. Well, the weekend's gonna be a next weekend I'm gonna have to do a Sunday thing because it looks like Saturday's gonna be yeah, the next week next week doesn't look as promising, at least at the let me check in on the UAV forecast there. See what we're at. Oh, almost spilled my water. Wouldn't be the first time. It's because I got too much crap around. That's the other thing too. I've become very lazy. Hey, what is going on? There we go. St. Catharines, Ontario. Well, that's fine. A little bit cold, so I won't get, you know, the battery will be depleted a little bit more, but St. Catharines is looking really nice for tomorrow. Um, Let me do Chippewa Parkway. Chippewa Creek Road, yeah. Niagara Falls, Ontario. Probably about the same. Winds out of the north. Oh, that's nice. Temperatures are saying I can't fly, but screw that. I'm okay with -3. It looks like I'm going to be flying at lunch, and I could be flying tomorrow night. I don't know about tomorrow night. I'm not going to push these night flights because honestly, around here, I don't know what else I can fly for. Wouldn't mind going to the city of Welland. Might do that tomorrow. Not tomorrow night. I'm not doing it tomorrow night. Tomorrow I'm busy. I'm not gonna fly. I wanna go through some of these. I don't want to keep on piling up stuff. Um, I'll fly tomorrow at noon. I could fly first thing in the morning, but I'm probably gonna be deadly tired. And I've had enough flights from around here, but I will check the ATCS monitor in the morning, and if I so happen to see a train that I might be able to catch between 7 and 8, well, guess what? I will make an effort and go do that. I got 2 batteries. 2 batteries will give me 2 flights. It'll be fine. God, I'm having fun. And yeah, work's been good too, so holy crap, I've been talking for an hour. Go to bed, you idiot. All right, time to go to bed.